So we just want to welcome you to the Million Roses channel, my man, and I know you've been waiting on this opportunity, talk, get this interview out the way. So just let the camera know who you is for the people that don't know.
My name is ILoveYouRodman. My real name is Rodman Lavalley, and before we start the interview, before we go any further, I just want to say, I really appreciate you for, giving me this opportunity to come on this platform and truly express myself, because, man, as time went on, I've been seeing you interview so many people, and I was like, I'm gonna just be patient, and I know my day gonna come, you hear me? So it's finally time, and I'm ready to rock out, you hear me? With everything in me, dog.
Straight up, for sure.
So
just let the people know that you got you produce. You got that going on, you in school, so just dive a little into that.
Right, so growing up, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, you hear me? Growing up, I never really fit in with nobody, you hear me? I never really had friends or nothing like that. And early on in my life, I quickly seen I was different than other people, you hear me? And I mean that in a way of such as my personality. I noticed I was always cabbier than a normal person. And growing up in New Orleans, I'm from Cali, back in town too, you hear me? So growing up out there, the narrative in New Orleans is that, most young men become a product of their environment. Unfortunately, that's sad to say, but it's the truth. And many young men out there don't have a true idol to look up to, so most people become a product of the environment, which is the streets out there. So me growing up, I always knew I was different than other people, you hear me? I knew the streets wasn't for me. That's not the type of young man I wanted to be. And big shout out to my mother. She truly raised me right to be a nice, respectful young man, you hear me? But growing up, I knew I never wanted to enter the streets, because the streets, there's only two outcomes, which is you either gonna die or you're gonna get in jail. And I know me, Rodman Lavalley, I'm not going for either of them. It's not gonna be me. I'm not gonna let it be me. Even if that means I have to, isolate myself from the public in New Orleans, which I did. So even though, like I said, I didn't really have much friends growing up, that also became my biggest strength, because it allowed me to truly love my own company and me stay out of trouble the whole time. Growing up in New Orleans, it's so easy to get into trouble and stuff like that, no matter if it's stuff in the streets with young men, getting yourself caught up with young females. And I made sure I never made that mistake, whether it's surrounding myself with the wrong crowd of young men, getting myself caught up with the wrong young women. I made sure I never did both, because I know what I want for myself in life, and I told myself I'm gonna make any sacrifice that I have to do to achieve that, no matter what it is, and I stood by that, you hear me?
Straight up. And the Cali projects is really known for violence and a lot of other things, and it does have people that did make it out. You got Master P. You had a couple of other rappers and artists that made it from out those projects, and it's a real well-known project, not only in New Orleans but across America. So just talk about just coming up in that environment.
Yeah, facts, for sure. Growing up in the Cali, dog, I still have visions like yesterday, seeing people play Man Overboard, in the brick houses and stuff. But my highlight of growing up in the Cali was my brother, Calio White, you hear me? He truly was a father figure to me growing up, you hear me? Because like I said, growing up I didn't really have much friends and stuff. And my father, everybody have problems, growing up, everybody have their story of coming up. And mine in particular, my father, when we was living in the projects, he became a drug addict. He became addicted to heroin, started sticking his veins with needles and shit. And the outcome of that was my brother, Calio White, you hear me? It caused him to not really care about life that much no more. You hear me? Because he didn't really have a father figure to look up to, somebody to tell him that they love him, and a man to tell him that they was proud of him. So he became real careless in the streets and stuff like that. I could see the look in his eyes. It was full of hate. Nobody don't love me. I'm just spiraling out of control at this point. And as he went through that, even though he had a rough life, I seen how he became a product of the environment himself, the product of the streets. I knew that he would never get killed. I always had these conversations with God, and God told me that even though he might go through a lot, in and out of jail and stuff like that, I knew he would never lose his life. So that was never a worry to me. And the positive thing about that, by him seeing what it was like to be raised without a father, get out that fatherly love that he once desired, he made sure that was never a worry for me. Like, he actually gave me plenty of love and affection. You hear me? To this, like, Rodman, like, I'm here for you no matter what. So it's like, even though I never really fit in with nobody growing up, I could always say that I never was truly alone, because I had my big brother being a father figure that I always needed in my life. So
you always show love to your brother. You always
facts.
Show appreciation to him. And I know, man, you had a personal conversation, and you was telling me, you know, how he's incarcerated. So talk about how that affects your artistry and how that affects you as a person. Just knowing that, you know, you probably got started doing this because of him, and now he's not around to witness, you know, what you're becoming.
So I like your questions, man, because they truly like making me go deep, and I'm so excited to tell you about all this stuff. You hear me? But I started making beats around I say 2 years ago. 2 years ago, yeah. You know, I'm a student at Southern University, and my sophomore year of college, I'm a senior now in college. My sophomore year was when he around the time he first went to jail. So. But you know, before he went to jail, like I said, since he was like that father figure in my life, it's like I always ran to him with any problem that I came across. So it's like any challenge that I face, you know, my brother, he gonna save me. He gonna tell me the solution for any problem that I encounter. So by him going to jail, it really forced me to get that confidence in myself. You hear me? Like to truly get into myself, dog. And like, even though my brother is in jail, I say that's truly the best thing that could have happened, because he was going so fast in these streets, man. Like, he was going down the wrong path fast. You hear me? And by him going in there, it's like he become a wiser individual, and it's also me. I'm out here like building that confidence and that love, which is all like, man, it's just like going further and further. But the way I started making music was about when my brother went to jail. I have a little brother also, and he was like, I want to be a producer one day. You hear me? Like, I'm gonna be making the beats. My other friend gonna be the rapper, and my other friend gonna be shooting videos and stuff. So my brother Callie White, he bought my little brother Danny the piano. He bought him a little piano. A month went by, and he never used it. So I'm like, man, let me see what that's about, here. I'm like, let me see what that's about. Man, I touched that piano one time. It's over, you hear me, man? From then on up, I was waking up day by day, like 5 o'clock in the morning every day, you hear me? Like, learn how to make these beats, going to sleep at like 5 o'clock in the morning, like being like sleeping all in class, because you know that's before coronavirus even started. I'm going to sleep in class, but you know it's all right, because I'm doing it for something I love, you know. And it's like such a beautiful feeling, dog. And like, I'll say, when I was in college, a lot of people didn't really know me. Like, you know, at a small college like Southern, it's a HBCU, so everybody know of each other. So you know, I was like the average student there. But once I started making them beats, and people started seeing that grind I have, like, man, I'm telling you, I was pushing it with everything in my heart, son. Like, I was giving it my all, son. No matter if it's me increasing my skill in my craft, promotion, I'm telling you, I'm just giving it 100% of me every time, you hear me? So I think people started seeing that work ethic, and they started seeing like I was truly genuine with it. So it was like a real beautiful thing to see come into fruition, you know, because I truly manifested everything that's already here, everything that's upcoming also within my journey. Yeah. So the way I got the name ILoveYouRodman, you know, like I told you, since I didn't really have much friends growing up, my confidence wasn't that big growing up. Also, you know, from like certain problems that I had while being an infant, you know, I went through stuff like bullying when I was younger. I got bullied and shit like that, and that type of stuff, it killed my confidence so much when I was younger. You hear me? And like it had like kind of a long-term effect to the point I was like scared to look people in their eyes, you know. And the crazy thing about it, like those bullies that I had in middle school and elementary and all that, it wasn't bullies who could even beat me physically. You know, it's just by not receiving all the love and stuff that I wanted. It had a mental effect over me, you know? Like they had my mind, you see what I'm saying? You could be the strongest person in the world, but if somebody got your mental strength down, you done, you hear me? So you know, and like I said, you know, I've always been a lover, you hear me? Like, you know, killing and all that, man, that ain't me. I ain't a street nigga, I ain't none of that. I'm a young man who headed for greatness, you hear me? So, you know, when I used to get bullied and stuff, I never would even tell my parents or my brother, you know, because you know, even though I come from that type of family and stuff, I never wanted to inflict that pain on others. And I can say that I'm glad I went through that, because it also showed me that that's a feeling that I never want to inflict on another individual. you know, the feeling of loneliness, the feeling of like you're not good enough, the feeling of like being scared to go to school. So, you know, everything happened for a reason. That was like the bright side of that situation. But back to how I got the name I Love You Rob. You know, when you're a producer and stuff, you like every producer have this thing which is called a producer tag. Like, you know, to the way that people know which producer it is when the beat come on and stuff. So I was like, damn, I wonder what's mine gonna be, man. And I was like, you know what? Like, ain't no more having low confidence. Like, bitch, we about to love ourselves forever, you hear me? Like, we gonna give ourselves that love. You know, like I said, my brother in jail, so like, only person who could lift me up now is myself, you hear me? So it's like, I'm about to give myself that love, you dead. Like, so I'm like, you know what? I love you, Rob, man. Like, man, I had a friend, you know, I had a friend named Shakira, you hear me? She got like a real nice, soft voice, you hear me? She a good friend, shout out to her. But I was like, say, I want you to be the voice for my new tag, you hear me? So we came into my apartment and we had to put the voice memo on. It took us 86 tries, dog, like to get that bitch right. Cause like sometimes she was saying like, I love you, Robin. Other times she was saying it like too slow. And then other times I had to tell her like be a little sexier with it, Chairman. Like, so that on number 86, she got to be like, I love you, Robin. And that was it, Chairman. Like,
shit, that's nice
talk, dog. Real talk,
so not like the I Love You Rodman tag is like well known, and really
right,
it's well known because I feel like you force people to like hear you out, force people to like, you know, for real though, you force people to hear what you got going on.
Facts.
If I could say anything, I would say like your self-promotion and your marketing.
Yeah,
you're one of the best that I've come across. Like, that I've seen an individual do for themselves throughout the whole state of Louisiana. So talk about like promoting yourself and marketing yourself, and you know how big that plays a part into your growth as an artist.
I like that question, man. I'm glad you asked that too. But like when it comes to self-promotion, man, you gotta be willing to put your all into it. You hear me? Like, if it's your dream, son, you gotta make it happen. I don't care what it take. I don't care what the cost is. I don't care what the sacrifice is, because as we know today, there are many talented individuals who they feel as they're not receiving the you know, the fan base or the popularity that they truly deserve. And it's because many people will hear your music and they'll be like, damn, like home and nice, but they won't show that love only because you're not popular yet. So I'm like, man, that ain't happening. You hear me? Like, I'm about to be my own biggest support tool. So I'm about to, you hear me? Like, man, I'm about to learn how to do everything by myself. I'm about to promote the fuck out myself, son. I don't care how many people I gotta send it to. I don't care what come with chasing my dream. I don't care what challenges come. I don't care what challenges come with it. I don't care what trials and tribulations come with it. I know, man, I love you, Rodman. I'm gonna get it. You hear me? Like, man. So I just want to say to the people, like, anybody chasing their dream, man, put your all into it, son. You hear me? Like, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you wake up some days feeling not so positive. You might wake up some days feeling kind of down. That's when it really counts. Put your all into chasing that dream, son. You hear me? Because it's easy to be on going a positive day when you're feeling good. You hear me? But on the days when you're not feeling so happy, that's when it truly counts. And you gotta be willing to do it all by yourself if you had to. You hear me? So.
Talk about all the support, because I feel like you receive a lot of support.
Yeah,
so talk about that, because I know it probably wasn't like that when you first.
Facts. Like when I first started making beats, you hear me? That's when I first made a Twitter for myself. I was probably getting like 5 retweets at first, you hear me? Then I remember one day it went up to like 20 to 40. I was like, ooh, bitch, like that shit fire, you hear me? So. It was like I know one day my shit gonna be up there, son. You hear me? Like it's like I used to talk to God like, God, I feel like the answer what you telling me I want is just keep going. You hear me? And as time went on, I started seeing major support, like from on the internet and in person. Like being at college, I like around the time I started just walking around campus, and I started hearing females and even young men be like, I love you, Rodman. That used to hit me like, damn, like, that's really happening right now, you hear me? So it was like such a beautiful feeling, man, you hear me?
Even you taking that and then you know, all right, so you come from the Cali projects.
Yeah.
You go to Southern. So,
right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty certain like you probably don't receive like a lot of financial support from your family. Or do you?
Well, Yeah, because you know nobody in my family rich yet, you hear me? But see, the reason I said at first, because I don't want to feel like it's nobody's fault. You hear me? I'm not trying to make no excuses. If I want it, it's up to me to get it.
Right.
Nobody, I'm 21 years old. I'm a man. You hear me? Nobody in my family got to give me anything. Right. So that's why I want to be like.
But I said that to say this to make a point. Like I see you hustling a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, facts.
The apparel.
Facts.
You know, that's basically like you packaging yourself in as more than just a producer. So you're doing a lot of other stuff. So just talk about what comes into that.
Oh yeah, like man, when it come to like just hustling, dog, like you gotta feel yourself before you even start getting the money and stuff. You hear me? Like, man, I'm so serious when I say this. I remember my sophomore year of college, I had like 3 pair of pants. Right. I had like 3 pair of pants, son. You hear me? It's like, it was all cool to me because, you know, I like the clothes don't make the nigga, you hear me? Like, the nigga make the clothes, you hear me? So I wasn't really tripping, you hear me? But I know, all I could say was, I know right now I might not be financial, I won't be, but I know one day I'm gonna be there. You hear me? So, like I said, dog, you gotta just be willing to do whatever it takes. You hear me? Ain't no excuses, because if you start making excuses, you setting up a pattern for yourself to feel like failure. All right, you hear me? No, it's not. Failure is never okay. Failure is only okay if it's teaching you a lesson. But you never take a loss and be like, damn, man, like, you know, like, people don't show me enough love, and you know, it's not fair, man. Everything fair. You gotta make it fair for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, for real, dog. And I say, like, one of the most important things that I don't see people do enough, which I feel like they should be implying to themselves in their life and their career more, is keeping the right circle around you. Having your circle full of love and positivity changes it all, man. Think about it. Like, if you know, like, you know, you can obviously see that, you know, I'm a nice, respectful, happy young man. If I was around nothing but other young men in the streets, I would slowly but surely start to become that. You hear me? Like, you'll start seeing my manners change. You'll start seeing, like, the way I treat other people, even my attitude. Like, you might see this smile become to a meme mug, you know? Right. Because, like, bro, energy is serious, dog. Energy is sick. Like, life is a mental game, dog. And if you got people who got nothing but evil and hate in their heart, it's gonna start affecting you. You hear me? So, like I say, keep positive people in your circle, man, no matter what it takes. And if you don't got nobody positive around you, stick by yourself, rock solo, and bang it, man. Look, go hard, hold it down for yourself. You hear me? That's what I can see. That's what I can see. You hear me?
And another highlight that I seen that you know, was a viral moment on the internet is when you stood up. I guess it was at like a seminar.
Yeah.
He was up there talking, and I seen you ask a question. So just talk about asking that question, because even in asking the question, I could hear like the nervousness in your voice, but you still stood up in front of all those people and asked the question.
Thanks.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
What's up with your boots?
What's up, big?
Hello. Look, my name Rodman here, man. I wanted to ask you, you know the producer Playboy XO?
Playboy XO?
Look, the dude who produced for NBA Youngboy. Playboy on this bitch, but he ain't playing though.
Oh, in Florida?
Yeah, look,
in
he was
Florida?
in Miami, he back now. I wanted to ask you, like, you know who that is, right?
Yeah, I don't know him, but I know the dude who made beats in Florida.
I see you with a picture with him on Instagram, you hear me?
Oh, okay.
He a fire producer. He be producing for NBA Youngboy. I was on the phone with him yesterday for 46 minutes, you hear me? I'm ambitious, I'm talented, you hear me? Look, if I want it, I'm gonna get it. So look, I wanted to ask you, I'm telling you, I'm a fire producer. I'm asking you, like, as a producer, what you feel like I should be doing to get to the next step?
You need to be getting at all the big rappers.
Man, look, I remember that moment like it was yesterday, son. You hear me? And I love the spotlight so much. However, when you do something for the first time, it's like that feeling, like that adrenaline, like, bitch, it's really happening right now, you hear me? So I remember when LaBoosa was there, you hear me? I'm like, man, I'm about to get noticed, you hear me? Because even though LaBoosa might not want my beat right now, I guarantee you years from now, when he see me at the top, he gonna be like, damn, like I remember that little nigga, like that little nigga been hustling all this time, you hear me? So, man, I remember I was in there, you hear me? Nigga, the whole room full of people, boys, girls, everybody, you hear me? So I'm like, this is my show, this is my time to shine, you hear me? Like, this what I do, I shine, I'm a star, you hear me? So I got up, man. You know, at first I was a little nervous, you hear me? Like, but life is not about not being nervous. You know, it's not about not being nervous. It's about staying in control of your emotions despite the nervousness. That's what the key is, you hear me? So, you know, once I got up and started, and people started hearing my accent, everybody started laughing at me, I'm like, oh yeah, y'all the bitches laughing at me? Watch, I'm about to shine on y'all, and I guarantee you, one day y'all gonna say I went to school with ILoveYouRodman, and I put that on everything, you hear me? So I did what I had to do, man. I asked my question, and I really appreciated the response he gave me at the end of the day, you hear me? You hear me? Like basically saying like, I just gotta put that work in and get myself heard.
Definitely. So talk about like also going to school, you at Southern University, and you trying to, you know, gain notoriety with the producing. So you really don't have too much time to play around.
Exactly.
So talk about, you know, just the grind and what you got going on.
When it comes to chasing your dream, man, you gotta prioritizing is so important. You gotta show what truly matters to you, what is truly important to you. See, like once my name started becoming bigger, I started going out less. I started becoming less accessible to people. Like, man, I don't talk. I don't be in, you know, all these young women DMs. I don't do none of that. I don't be at parties, nothing. All I do is grind, keep my relationship close with my close friends and my family. I keep my mental health good, and I just grind the whole day. You hear me? Like, you'll never catch ILoveYouRodman at a party right now. If you catch me at a party, I'm getting paid on performing. See what I'm saying? I'm not in none of these. I'm not chasing young women. I'm not trying to be the young man who out here saying, you know, like, I got all the bad females on me. That's no thanks. I don't want it. Don't care about it. Cause I see that's a big mistake that young men such as myself start making. You know, once they start getting a name more popular, and even once they've made it, they start feeling like, you know, oh, I'm that dude now. You hear me? I could get comfortable, all the girls on me, you know, I could do my thing, you hear me? I'm about to fuck with her, I'm about to mess with her. No thanks, sir. I don't want it, don't care about it, don't need it. And I say that in the most respectful way possible because, man, that is a big distraction. And as long as it takes to get your name up there, I'll lose it all in a quick second. And I'm not making that mistake. I'm like, man, you gotta stay on that grind with everything that you do, you hear me? And the way that you become popular, you know, the way that you become famous is that you gotta put in that consistent grind so you could gradually, you know, so your fame can gradually increase over time. Like, I don't want where I'm going to be a one-night sensation, like an overnight thing, because just as fast as you gain it, just as quick as you can lose it also. Like, I want this to come from my whole life of grinding and, you know, putting my beautiful energy into the universe and the atmosphere and it coming back at me. You know, that's the type of person I am. So yeah, man, when it comes to chasing a dream, you gotta put your all into that every second.